D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I finished the latest episode of Superman and Lois, and I just have to say I really like this show a lot. I mean, this episode, it had a good fight sequence and everything, and a little bit of drama, but I really do like it a lot. I think that, this wasn't like the best episode, but we got a little bit more information about our villains. And we got a little bit, a couple of answers as far as that pendant that Bizzaro was wearing. But I really do like it a lot. I think it's really good. And I can't wait to see next week's episode. I think one thing that I personally appreciate as a dad is it shows fathers in a positive light. Well, except in this episode, the Cushings, Alex, but I think that has to do more with him being a man than a human, and than it does him being a dad. But like I said, John Henry Irons is a good dad. Clark is a good dad, and I appreciate that very much. So the writers keep doing that because we need more representation. Well, I'm a decent dad. I don't know if I'm good or not, but anyways, and also I just think that this show is I don't know, man. I think they're doing it right. I think they touch on certain things that might be considered, identity politics, but I think that they touch on it in a subtle way, so much so that it doesn't cram it down your throat and it makes you think. And I'll talk about that when I get to it, because this episode kind of had a little bit and everything, but yeah. So before I get started on this breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just get shoved straight to the back of the line. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. Please also do this with any small YouTuber. I mean, some of us work really, really hard to get content out, and for someone like myself, I got a family, so I got to concentrate on them and everything, and this comes second, so I'm trying and everything, but yeah. All right, so now I got down to business. Why don't we get started on breaking down this episode? So it starts off back in the day, old timey. I think it was 1979. I didn't grab the screen grab, but I'm pretty sure it was 1979. And this is a young Allie, our villain and parasite of this show. And she's sitting with what I'm assuming is her brother. It didn't say who this was, but I'm just assuming it's her brother because he says our family in it. So she's sitting here waiting, and this guy comes in and he sits down and he said, she's going to get everything. The Allie, the daughter from her dad, she's going to get everything, but she has to carry around this pendant. It's the exact same pendant that Bizzaro has been wearing for the last couple of episodes around his neck, but it got taken last episode after they got into a fight with Superman. Sorry, I need a little libation. So he's all like, this is Allie's choice. She needs to make that decision. And then her brother's all like, no, that pendant's ruined our family long enough. Our dad and everybody was obsessed with it. We need to stop Allie. What do you want to do? She decides she's going to take the pendant. And, and he's like, you've made a wise decision and everything. Your father was so close and everything. And so she's smiling there. She's smirking there a little bit. So then this is her holding that pendant. And it matches the one, and we'll see it later. It's got the little kind of glow that Bizzaro's pendant has. And we'll find out why later on in this episode. But she's like, she'll be arriving soon. Go make some tea. And her little minion makes tea and everything. And then we go back to the Kent farm. And Lois is making banana muffins and everything. They all put a lot of emphasis on the banana muffins. I hate when people put emphasis on their food, because I'm always like, I'll eat it and then I'll be like, it's good, but it's not as good as you made it out to be. So it always works out that way. Like, I'm like, please don't brag up your food. Like, I'm not trying to diss on it, but calm it down. So she's talking about Natalie. And he says that Natalie blames him for what happened to John. And she's like, no, John knew what was going on and he got into it himself. He's responsible for his actions. It couldn't be helped and you're not to blame for it. And she's right. Lois is very smart like that. And then she's talking about how Allie and all this stuff that's going on and with that whole thing. And then her partner, Sophie, I can't remember her name. Anyways, so the boys come down and everything, and they're getting ready for school, and they're talking about the Sarah's quinceanera, because they're gonna have the quinceanera in their barn. So then they're practicing. The Cushings are practicing for her quinceanera, and they're dancing and everything. And she's all like, "Oh, this is so blocky, dancing and everything." And he's all like, "You need to get ready for this, because all this stuff." And he gets a text from that girl from the bar that he slept with. And so Sarah is talking about how she wants to take not the Cushing name anymore, but his family's name, because his father his grandfather changed their name to Cushing when they came to America. So they sounded more, American. I can't remember. I think it was Montez was their name. I can't remember off the top. I think it started with an M. And that's what I really like. Like it's subtle, like this little, I mean, like it's not really identity politics right now, but that's what some families did, just kind of integrate and everything. And she's definitely proud of her heritage, which is always good. And she's just, she's like, I'm not gonna, subject myself to being something that I'm not, and I'm not a Cushing. That is a name that was made up, and I'm not going to do that anymore, which is, good for her, whatever, and so then these two, the mom and dad were dancing before, but it doesn't matter. So then they are practicing again. So then we go over to Tag, and he's in the hospital because remember last time he got into a fight that he couldn't cash the check and everything. And Superman comes in. He's like, "Thanks for saving me." He's like, "You should have been in that fight. Where's the pendant, the necklace thing?" He's like, "I gave it to the general guy." He's like, "I was following protocol." He's like, "It's okay. It's totally cool." And so back at the farm, the brothers are sitting there, and Grandpa shows up. And he's all like, "Grandpa's been training me." And he's like, "I want to get trained too. And I just want to like, this is the thing. I just want to be Jonathan." He becomes a jerk real quick, but later on, but it's only because he's doing those drugs. Just say no, kids. Just say no. So they start training together. So then Lois is watching old videos of Allie and her Innerverse seminars when she was back in the day. And so her partner comes in. I think her name is Sophie. I'm sorry, I don't have the cast list up here. And I watched this last night when I got home from work, and then I just do it now. But she's sitting here, and she's basically saying, "You always keep stuff from me, like Morgan Edge. You kept stuff from me about Morgan Edge. And then I end up looking like an idiot because you don't tell me, and we're supposed to be partners in this." She's like, "Are you ready to tell me?" And she's like, "No, I kept it from you because I didn't think it was relevant." And she's like, "That's not up to you to decide." And she's all like, "I don't think I can trust you anymore. I just can't trust you." And she's like, "I'm sorry you feel that way." And I hate when people do, I don't know about you, but I hate when people do that. When you're all like, "Listen, I'm mad at you because you did this." And they're like, "Well, I'm sorry that you're mad at me." Don't apologize for my feelings. Apologize for your actions. And Lois should just be like, Lois should be like, "You're right. I shouldn't have kept stuff from you because we are partners. It's just I've never been in this kind of partnership before. So it's a little hard for me to tell you everything because I'm so used to it. And it's not like a light switch where I can just turn it on and just be like, gabba, gabba, wee, gabba, gabba, wee, and everything. It's going to take me some time to get to the point where I can just, instinctively tell you everything that's going on." And I think that would have gone, a lot. It would have gone far with their relationship. But don't worry, they mend it later on. So then she's watching this video, and she notices this doctor lady, and I can't remember what the doctor's name is, but it's the one at the mine. And then we see her get out of her car, and she goes into wherever she's at, and she's being watched by Bizzaro. He's all like, "Ooh, it's going down for real," and everything. So in the back of the DOA, general guy, he's all like, Superman shows up, and he's all like, "You shouldn't have sent those kids to fight. They weren't ready." And he's like, "You shouldn't have, you should have told me that it looks like you're fighting you." And he's like, "It's not me." And he's all like, he's like, I need the pendant. And he's all like, I told what's his face to take Tag to take it. And he's like, no, you didn't. You told him to run. There's a difference. And he's all like, well, he's like, I need the pendant. And he's all like, listen, that pendant, from what we said, it gives off a huge charge whenever you two are together. He's like, so how do I know you're not just powering yourself up? And he's like, why would I just be powering myself up? He's like, I'm not your enemy here. We're on the same side. I just need that pendant because it helps me find him. Because when one of us has that pendant, we can see what's going on with the other one. And we'll find out later on what's going on. Basically, it's a parallel universe kind of thing. And so he's all like, I don't think I can help you. He's like, I don't think I can help you right now. When you, I think he tells him to bring him Bizzaro, and then he'll let him see the pendant, or they'll talk about the pendant thing. And he goes and everything, which that guy, I'm all like, Superman's being dumb and this guy's being dumb. Like, just work together. Okay. So then back at the farm, they're training and they're doing push-ups, and they're like 50 push-ups in 1 minute. I just want to say that's pretty good. I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do 50 push-ups in 1 minute. It might take me some time, maybe 2 minutes. But or maybe, was it 50 push-ups? It was a lot of push-ups in 1 minute. Like, it's like, man, that's maybe I could do it in 2 minutes. I think I could do it in 2 minutes, 50 push-ups. But anyways, so I could definitely do 25 in 1 minute. So he's all like, he's like, Jordan, you're not giving your full potential. And he's like, this isn't a competition. We need to train you up, kind of thing. He's like, Jonathan doesn't have powers. You have powers. So you need to get ready to use them. And I need you to start doing your thing. So, and then he asked Jonathan to go get him some water. And I'm like, Gramps, you done sealed the deal, because Jonathan is kind of fragile at this point. So then back at the Cushing's house, she's waiting for her to come out in her dress, and she comes out, and she looks very pretty. I like this dress. It's I don't know in quinceañeras if the dress is homemade or you buy it. I don't know. I don't know that much about quinceañeras. I do something different when you turn 16, and we would do something different in our household when you become an adult in the community. But anyway, so she's got a dress on. She looks very cute. I do like this dress. I really don't like floral, but this is more, I think, floral print. This isn't like a print. It's like somebody obviously, what are those beads? Or sewed? I don't know what those, Mario. I don't know. But it looks very nice. And she looks nice. And she's walking around in high heels, which obviously she doesn't do often. And there's something of the changing of the shoe. I don't know what that is. I don't know anything about quinceañeras. I've never been to one. They look like fun though. I'm always down for a party. So she's all like, this is really important to your dad, and all this stuff. So then back at the thing, he comes in, he's like, he's not going to help me, kind of thing. And she's all like, I found out, I saw Dr. What's Her Face on a video. I'm going to go see her at the mine. I'm going to question her and everything. And so I don't remember if they say anything else here, but she did say, if you want the, sorry. She did say, it's early here. I'm sorry, you guys. But as of recording this, but he's all like, she's like, let me call my dad. And he's like, no, we can't get your dad involved every time I need to go to the DOA, kind of thing, which she's right. So then back here, Allie is being interviewed by Sophie. I'm going to call her Sophie. If her name isn't Sophie, don't get mad. Just calm it down. I'll make sure to, I usually have a list of the cast right here, but I don't have that today. Sorry. I wasn't as prepared. So she's asking her questions about her inner verse, kind of thing. And she drinks the tea. She's like, this tea is delicious. Where'd you get it from? She's like, the lobby. I'm all like, and everything. So she's like, tell me about your inner verse. She's like, don't worry, you're gonna see it real soon. And she's like, you drugged me. And she's all like, yeah, we had to, kind of thing. And she passes out. So then back at the mine, Lois is going to visit that doctor lady, and she goes in. She's like, hello, doctor lady. And she sees Bizzaro. And I was like, oh no, he's going to murder her. He wouldn't murder her. She's like a star of the show. And he sees her, but he doesn't do anything. He just zooms out. And then she comes around, and this woman is, when I saw this, I was like, she needs some milk. She needs some milk real quick. But her head, I don't think is attached anymore. And if it is definitely like by a small piece of skin. Her head is like elongated. Anyways, so it's not right. So, anyways, she pushes button. Superman shows up and she's like, Bizzaro was here and everything. She's like, he murdered her. And he's all like, sorry, I really am. It's like she was a follower of Allie. And then they find a picture of her and he's like, he's going after her. So then back at the hotel where Allie is, they've got Sophie here with the necklace on. And it's like meow, meow, meow. And then this guy right here, he's all like, she has impulse. She's like, don't worry, she's going through it. She's like, the pendant will lead her. And he's like, I'm gonna go get the paddles. And as soon as he said that, she's like, and everything. And she's like, I saw myself. I saw my other self, kind of thing. And now you get where it's coming from. The pendants show you the Bizzaro world. So then we go back to the Kemp farm, and Jonathan takes his drugs, and it changes him, and he turns into a real dick. So he goes back into the barn. He's like, hey, him punching a punching bag isn't really going to help him. He needs to get into a real fight with his brother. And he's all like, are you sure you can handle that? And he's like, I can handle it, Grandpa. And so they fight, and he beats him. But he's a real jerk about it and everything. And it's obviously the drugs, and he's going to have probably a villain-esque type storyline because there were some set photos that was released. Anyways. So then back at the Cushing's house, they're getting ready. It's the big day of the quinceanera. And I like his tie. And they're all getting ready. They all look very nice. The young daughters complain about her dress and everything, although she looks nice too. They all look really nice. They look like a happy, nice family. The mom is looking very good. Anyways, so then we go back to the hotel room. Oh, and their abuela, grandma, comes in and she takes a picture of him. She's like, your family looks so wonderful and everything. And he's like, because I married the right woman and everything. And he did, because she's very pretty. Not because she's pretty that he married the right woman. Anyways, so then Sophie is all like, I saw myself, but I looked different. And the world looked different. And you were there. And you were everywhere. And she gives her like this look like, huh, kind of thing. And I have thoughts on this, and I'll tell you about them in just 1 second, as soon as we get towards the end, because I do have thoughts, what's going to happen. A little theory, if you will. So then Lois comes in and she's like, is this a setup? And she's like, no, I had no idea she was going to be here. What are you doing here? And Superman shows up and he's all like, we need to get you out of here. Dr. What's-Her-Face is dead. And she's like, what? She's like, yeah, and you're next. We don't get out of here. So then all of a sudden he hears Bizzaro coming and he pushes her out of the way. Bizzaro comes in and they fly out and they're like, what was that? And she's like, she tells him, this Allie, she gets a look on her face, like Dr. What's-Her-Face. She knew what was doing. And so I'll just tell you right now. Okay. So in the comic books, and Allie is Parasite. She's like a different version of Parasite with her brother. Now, I don't know if her brother will make an appearance in this season or not, but he doesn't want to be Parasite they're like both Parasite, but he doesn't want to be Parasite anymore because it turns him like a green, and it turns her like a pinkish color, but she likes being Parasite. So this is what I think. Okay. Allie from the other world, the Bizzaro world, is going to come through and take over as Allie from this world. And that Allie from the Bizzaro world is Parasite. Like, she can do the Parasite things. Like, this Allie doesn't like siphon off anything from you if she touches you, but that Parasite will. And that's why everybody, which will the What's-Her-Face mentions later, but everybody's afraid of her. So I think that's what's going to happen. Like, this Allie is no longer going to be around, but that Parasite Allie from Bizzaro world will be in the show, maybe from now on, but will be Parasite. That's my thoughts. Okay. So anyways, these two get into a fight and it's very good. I liked it a lot. It was kind of low key, but at the same time it's very good. I understand that these shows don't have an overwhelmingly huge budget, but I think that this show is using their budget effectively because their fight was very good. Like, and so he uses his fire breath, he uses his cold breath. I was like, oh yeah, that's what daddy is here for. And then he uses his freeze ray eyes or whatever. He's like, now you die. Except he's like, no, hold on. Eid you wow. Anyway, so he's like, you're the opposite of me. So as soon as he said that, it was like something clicked. And I was like, oh, here it goes. So he breaks out of the ice. He grabs him. He flies him through the air and they fly. They're punching. He's punchy, playing punchy punch. And he flies them to the mines. And they go on here. And I was like, oh, the X kryptonite is their blue kryptonite. So then he gets him in there and he grabs some X kryptonite. So we're just going to call it orange kryptonite because it's orange. Now, in the comic book, X kryptonite doesn't exist. Orange kryptonite does exist, but it's not. I think it only affects pets. But in the comic books, blue kryptonite does not affects Bizzaro, but green kryptonite does not affect him whatsoever. Like green kryptonite, you could hold that up to him and be like, okay, whatever. But like green kryptonite affects Superman. But in the comics, blue kryptonite has no effect on Superman, but it acts as the same way that green kryptonite acts to Superman. That's how blue kryptonite acts to Bizzaro. Smallville did this, but they did it differently. Like blue kryptonite just supercharged him and it did nothing to Clark. And then green kryptonite, what did it happen? It charged him, but not as much. But blue kryptonite like supercharged him and it made him blow up, kind of thing. If you ever watch spoiler alert, if you've never seen Smallville. So then he punches him with the orange kryptonite because it's obviously taking him down a peg or two, and he knocks him out. Like, yeah, I'm king of the mountain. So the back of the quinceanera, they're all having a good time and everything, and the brothers show up and he's like, you look fantastic. Sorry about that. He's like, you look fantastic. And they're like, oh, is your parents coming? They're like, yeah, they're just getting dressed, kind of thing. So they get dressed and he's all like, did you find any Bizzaro's back with my mom, the hologram of my mom, which I miss his dad. I wish they wouldn't have killed off the hologram, because then I just thought maybe it would be interesting to see the two holograms come together and be like, come on, my love. Anyways, so he's all like, are you going to talk to Sophie? And she's like, yeah, she's coming tonight, so I'm going to talk to her about everything going on. So then he grabs and he's like, hey, can you get me a whatever. And he's like, what am I now, your drink boy? And he's like, hey man, what's your problem? And he's like, I'm better than you and I'm stronger than you. He's like, hey man, you need to calm it down. What's your problem? And I'm like, he's on drugs. Dare. Anyways, so then these two come in and I can't remember what they say here, but he gets a text and he's like, I got to go outside. And he gets it from that girl. And so they're sitting there and she's like, these shoes really hurt my feet. And he's like, do you want me to rub them? She's like, maybe when we're old, like 40. And I was like, 40 is old now? I'm like, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there, man. It's going to suck. And then he starts talking about Jonathan and how he's changed. And she's all like, well, listen, if people start acting different, it's because something's going on. If they're not acting like they normally do, it's because something's going on. And she's so right, because something is going on. And so here's this lady. And she's all like, you come back to the bar and everything. And you know, it's really crappy that you ghosted me before. Now you come back to tell me not to mess with your wife's campaign. And she's like, listen, I told a friend. He's like, you told a friend? She's like, I was hurt. I need my girlfriends and everything. And so she wouldn't put it past her to sell the story to the mayor. And he's all like, what? And she's all like, listen, it's hard times. I would never do that, but she might do it. She's like, I thought you were going to leave your wife. This actress right here did not do a good job acting wise. I'm sorry. That's harsh maybe, but it's true. She did not. She's like, I loved you and everything. I did a better job just now than she did. Anyways, so she takes off and he goes back in the party, but Sarah and Jordan heard. Oh, dun, dun, dun. And so now it's time for the daddy-daughter dance. Oh, and he sees the mayor talking to his wife and he's all like, oh no. And he's like, is everything okay? He's like, no, I messed up. So he goes over there and the mayor's like, we were just talking about you. All good things and everything. And I can't remember what he said to him, but then it's time for the daddy-daughter. Oh, no, they go to dance. Sorry, my bad. So she goes to talk to Sophie and she's like, what happened? She's like, listen. And she's like, I'm sorry, okay, about before me not telling you stuff. She's like, good, because now I have to tell you something. She's like, when I was in that other world, I was scared. Everybody was scared of Allie. I was scared of her. Everybody was scared. And she was everywhere, kind of thing. And that's why I think she's like the parasite and everything. Because it's like, if you don't do what I do, and then you're gone, punk. So then, so she's all like, we need to do what we can to stop her because she's crazy, kind of thing. I think. I don't remember exactly what they say. I didn't write it down. Sorry. It was late at night. I was tired, whatever. So now it's time for the daddy-daughter dance. And Sarah's like, I'm not having it. So she's dancing and everything. And then she's finally like, I can't do this. She's like, don't touch me. And she's like, I think she's having a panic attack. She leaves. She goes out there and she's all like, I heard you. I saw you. And she's all like, you did this to our family, kind of thing. And she's like, what did you do? She's like, the woman from the bar. I should have known you're a liar and a cheat. Trying to get that D wet and everything. He's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, she's like, Sarah, this is not the time for this. She's like, I don't want to go back in there. She's like, and I like this part. She's like, you need to go back in there because you're strong, kind of thing. And which is good. And she's like, there's a bunch of people here. They're all here for you. You need to go in there. We will deal with this as a family, but later. So they go in and she gives this really good speech about how like she's, strong and she's, a good person. I don't remember. It was a very good speech. And she's like, and she's like, that's the abuela. She's like, I love you. And she's like, I love you, mom. And then they hug and everything. And yeah. So then he hears and he's like, he's awake. And she's like, don't let anybody see you leave. And so he leaves and he goes back to the fortress and she's like, he's you, but the exact opposite of you. And she's like, you can talk to him now. He can hear you. And he's like, what were you trying to do? And she's like, you can talk to him now. He can hear you, kind of thing. So back at the farm, he's all like, yo, listen, I'm sorry. I was being a jerk. And he's all like, yeah, what's going on with you? And he's like, nothing, kind of thing. And he's like, why are you lying? He's like, I'm not lying. And his eyes glow red. And I was like, this is the thing. I hope that because he took the drugs and he's got kryptonite DNA in him, or Kryptonian DNA, I hope that the kryptonite sparks powers in Jonathan, because I like the thought of both of them having powers rather than just one. But obviously, I'm not going to be upset if he doesn't have powers because he's still a good character, kind of thing. So, but he will get powers like for a hot minute later on. He's got this 80s like biker look later on. I saw set photos. Sorry if I ruined it for you. He's like, you got power, your powers kicked in. This is great and everything. He's like, don't tell mom and dad, not at least right now. Because if you do, dad will take me off the football team. And I don't want to get taken off the football team just yet. Just give me a little bit more time. He's like, fine, I'll give you a little bit more time. So then back at the fortress, he's talking to Bizzaro. He's like, you shouldn't have stopped me. And he's like, what? He's like, what were you doing? And he's like, I was trying to save your world and mine. He's like, what are you trying to do? And he's like, if you want to save your world, you need to kill Allie and everything. He's like, what? And then that's where it ends. He didn't say what like that, but he's very much like, if you want to save your world, you got to kill her. You just got to kill her, dude. And I'm like, yeah, kill her, kind of thing. But that's a good thing of Tyler Hoechlin, a good picture. And that's where the episode ends. And like I said before, was it the best episode of the season so far? No, but it was a good episode. I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was very good. I like this show a lot. I think the writing is solid. I think that I think that they're doing good with this show when it comes to superhero shows. Not like, it's better than Supergirl did with any of these characters. It's better than Batwoman, I'll tell you that. Batwoman sucks. I think that this show and Stargirl are the only good shows on the CW right now, and all those like Arrowverse kind of shows. I think that these are the only good ones as of right now. I just think that I just don't think that they know what they're doing kind of thing. And I think that they really need to start focusing on good writing. Like I said before, this show kind of touches on certain things politically and like identity politics. And I know some people are sick and tired of hearing that phrase, identity politics and everything, and words like woke, but that's how I easily describe this stuff. With the whole thing with the Cushings and changing their name, that was subtle. And it made me go, you know what? People do that. They do change their names to kind of fit in, sound more American, if you will. Although I don't think you need to change your name to sound American. I think that, just, being here is good enough kind of thing. But no judgment. But yeah, I do think that I think the show is just doing it right. It's doing, and I have a twin brother, and he thinks Superman is like the lamest superhero in the DC universe. He's so lame. He's like white bread. And I'm like, it's true. There's a lot more complex characters, but this show, I think, is doing a good job of making Superman very interesting. He doesn't watch this show because it's DC. He doesn't like DC, but, he's a Marvel guy. I'm a DC girl. That's just how it's always been. But I do think, again, the show is doing it right. I can't wait for the next episode. I saw the trailer for it, and it looks delicious. And I can't wait to eat. So tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? What was your favorite part? Of course, it was that fight scene. Especially my favorite part was when they used their fire breath and their cold breath on each other and everything. Naughty. But I really like this show. It's so good. Everybody's doing a good job acting wise, except for that bartender lady. She didn't do a good job. Yeah, go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys next week on my breakdown and review of Superman and Lois. You guys have a good week. Bye.